Christian, happy Tuesday or synthetic Monday or however it is that you look at it. Happy start to the new week here. How you doing? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I tell you, trying to keep warm. We got nailed pretty good with some snow here, so we're still on shoveling a little bit, but happy the market's back open. That's for sure.
So where are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Columbus, Ohio. Yeah,
Okay,
right.
and what kind of temps did you have on the mercury dial today?
I think we had five, a nice balmy five
Okay.
outside.
When I woke up, it was -5 here today. And when I did my run yesterday, it was 3. So I'm with you there on the cold temps. We got them here. Hopefully the market can keep us warm here today. I, too, am glad that it is open. Real quick, folks, sign up for Christian's free webinar on February 19th. That's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. New administration, new market, how to trade in 2025. Christian, let me just start right there. With more volatility, seemingly more volatility here in 2025. How are you handling this?
Well, I tell you, it's kind of I don't want to say a play on words there, but what I will be encouraging everyone to do is to remember that the more things change, the more they stay the same when it comes to trading. And what I mean by that is obviously a whole lot of what ifs and this and that, and we're going to do that. What I will be encouraging everybody to do, just remember, trade the market. Don't get too caught up into, news feeds and narratives. And at the end of the day, I do agree with you. I think there's going to be some heightened volatility this year. Mm-hmm. And there's no reason we would trade it any different than, say, any other time. So that's kind of where we're leading with that.
Okay, whether it's one country fighting with one another, a specific company being named in the news flow, tariffs being taken on, used as a negotiating tool. I mean, the list seems to be endless. So with that, what are you looking at here in the near term? You got anything that you got your eye on for a potential trade?
Well, first I got to say IO for Go Steve D up there. So I can't let that go without answering him. But
okay, I got you.
Yeah, I can't let that go. So we had called gold on its breakout. We thought gold was running to about 3K, and we've gotten the bulk of that move, but we still think there might be some left in gold.
Okay.
So we use the GLD to trade it. Obviously, we're not out there going and buying bars or anything like that. But the other, we are now keeping our eye on the TLT. I know that sounds crazy with the way yields have been going and everything, but if you pull that up, you've got yourself a nice little down channel on the TLT over the past, you can see it almost perfectly right there over the past few months. And it is knocking on the door of a breakout there. Yep, there you go.
Got you.
So we are keeping our eyes peeled on that. For the break. As a matter of fact, we kind of entered a kind of a starter position, if you will, anticipating that break because there's some very, very big monthly positive momentum divergence on the TLT, implying that there could be a nice little break here coming soon. So TLT is something we're definitely looking at to get long.
Okay, let me ask you, do you have any target to the upside here on the TLT? So first of all, you're absolutely right. The potential breakout here literally jumps off the page. You have any target that you'd be looking for this to trade up? I mean, I see the 200-day here just shy of 93. That actually lines up really nicely with our volume profile, which we've been taking a look at as a group for the past couple of weeks. But any like target price or move that you're looking to capture here?
You bet. We're looking for that 100 to 102 area.
Okay.
That's an area that we've looked at in the past that goes back a ways as an area of interest, as I like to call it. And so we would think at minimum we're targeting that area. You start taking out that area, and we start looking way up at the 110s and such.
Okay, awesome. So I'm actually just going to mark that off on here because we do actually talk about the TLT quite a bit here. 100 to 102 area. We'll put that here on the chart. I tell you what, this makes a pretty good breakdown here. What do I have this at? 90-ish. Let's call it 89, 90. A little break of this trend line down there. That actually gives you a pretty good move there. 10 point move up to that area. So, okay, awesome stuff. Anything else you got?
Well, there's a few other, we're keeping an eye on Apple. Okay. So just kind of pivoting completely here. Apple having a great week last week, just seemingly up every day. Seems like it's making a move at that 247 where it stalled at a couple of weeks ago and a couple of weeks before that. Looks like it wants to get to that 247. And if you can take that 247 out, you got to be thinking getting to that high of 260 again.
Absolutely. So I'm literally looking at the chart here as you're saying that game plan. This would be exactly how I would trade this here. I actually might even look at a stop below that 50 if you get a close beneath it on that particular trade. But here you go. This is going to be your candle from January 31st. That's going to be your 247-ish high.
Yep.
I'm with you there. This is actually a former former support area that's now turned resistance. I think if we break that, that does send us to 260 here. Do you think we print new all-time highs in Apple?
It's sure looking like it. Last week it was unstoppable. And even though, on the calls that I do every week, we've been a little bit, I've been kind of just cautioning everybody for this year, because I do think we need to be careful about, we don't just go up every week forever, right? So we're going to have a correction, you're going to have these things. But all that being said, I still think no matter what, there's some more highs coming. Apple looks like it wants to play some catch up here. So I kind of feel like this is something that you take that 247 out, you're hitting new highs, I would think, unless something has happened to the market to yank it down.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right there. And I'll tell you what, Apple has also been one of the stronger tech names on days where we've seen tech under pressure. Apple has done a really good job holding its gains or holding its level here. Folks, again, we're on with Christian Tharp from T3, easy for me to say. Sign up for Christian's free webinar tomorrow, February 19th at 1 p.m. Eastern, new administration, new market, how to trade in 2025. Christian, we got a couple of stocks that the viewers are asking it for here. You mind if I just roll through them?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, let's start with Tesla. I know that this is one of Red Dog's favorite. This is actually one of everybody's favorite. It seems to be valuable, really volatile, provide a lot of trades. Got a really awesome bounce off this 100-day recently. What are you seeing here in the Tesla chart as far as some of those key levels are?
Absolutely. And are you really a trader if you're not trading Tesla? Just you got to be trading Tesla, or where are you? But so, yeah, there's a few things we're watching here. One is the old 360. If you look at the old 360 before the break to the final highs, there's a 360 shelf that goes right through. And you'll notice that's where we stalled on Friday. So if we can take that 360 back out, then we think there's some more juice there. If you give yourself a little trend line over top of those highs as well, you'll kind of see where you might come in for a target. So take out 360. I think you have enough juice to get back up to that line. I don't know that I believe that sell-off is over yet. I think that you could see something in that 300 area, maybe even lower. If you look down there, and that I think it's around the 260, there was an old breakout point back there as well. So I don't know that I think that the sell-off is over. I do think that if, again, you take that 360, I think you then can kind of go a little bit higher, but I'd be cautious on more downside. Take out that trend line you just drew, and I think we can maybe put a fork in the sell-off.
Okay, first of all, I love anytime someone gives me a if this then that in multiple ways. That's my favorite, right? Because that gives us multiple avenues to trade the stock. I think that's spot on here. A couple of other key levels right around some of these areas to mention. We've got the 20-day moving average at 381 and change, and the 50-day moving average right there at 402. So with you there on Tesla, we'll see what we get. This is, speaking of volatility, and the new administration, this thing's going to be no stranger to some of that moving around. I like what you were saying earlier. If you're not trading Tesla, what are you actually doing? I'm someone that over the course of my career, I've been doing this 10 plus years now, and over the course of my career, I've struggled with Tesla, so I kind of just backed away from it. But I'll tell you something, the end of 2024 and this year, it has been back with a vengeance, and even dummies like me are able to trade this. So pretty good stuff. I'm with you on that one. Next stock that I definitely have a question for you here is going to be NVIDIA. This has been one of the darlings for several years now. I don't know why I still have this head and shoulders drawing on here. This thing negated it completely. You see anything here in NVIDIA? We talked a little bit about some of the news earlier with TSM and Intel, and I'm not sure how much that really plays into NVIDIA, but what do you see here in NVIDIA's chart?
Yeah, to me, it kind of, and by the way, I had that same head and shoulders for a while, and then it just kind of turned into a mess. Yep. That recent drop to lows here, kind of, if you just kind of pan out a little bit, it just kind of has the look of something wanting to go lower. Yeah. That being said, it's obviously recovered quite a bit, but you start running up into that zone again up there where it's just a lot of resistance zone more than a price up in that area. So It's not something that gets me too excited about getting long here. As a matter of fact, SMCI is one that I think I like a little bit better watching. And I know it, has had its rough go, but it's been recovering quite a bit. And it sure looks like today it's going to try to take a shot at that $50 mark. And if it takes out that 50, if you remember the old 700, which is now a 70 level from back in the day, you take out 50 here, there's no reason why you couldn't be running back to 70. So we kind of pivoted away from NVIDIA and came over to some things that are in the universe of NVIDIA. And this is where something we're keeping an eye on this week.
Okay, so the SMCI chart here does look pretty appetizing, up just shy of 7% here in the pre-market. So in the pre-market here, it's actually trading above 50. To your point, we'll see if we can hold above that level and maybe get some juice when the regular session opens here. Got that 200-day at 53.5. That would be awesome to take out on the way up to that 60, 70 level. Let me just ask you, one of the things we've been kicking around here in the trading desk in this show is this something that you can really trust, right? We have a whole bunch of these accounting issues. I think that they said that they were going to report their missed quarterly report by the February 25th deadline. And I think that was news that we got last week or the week prior. So do you feel okay holding this one? Or is this more short term for you? Yeah. How do you square all that?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It'd be very much a short-term thing for, at least in our world, if this thing takes out 50, we're probably trying to grab a quick type of swing move on it and then backing away and seeing where we go from there. If by chance we decided to be in it a little longer, again, we'd be maybe interested enough to 70, and that's where we'd call it a wrap and, kind of, again, back away.
Okay. All right, really good stuff here. Again, on with Christian Tharp from T3 here. Sign up for Christian's free webinar tomorrow, February 19th, 1 p.m. Eastern. New administration, new market, how to trade in 2025. I've got one more question for you here on a stock that is pretty volatile. Volatility seems to be the theme of what we're talking about here. And then it's going to be Carvana. This is we get asked about this all of the time. This stock provides all kinds of different trades, both to the short and the long side. Actually, looks like we've got a pretty decent cup handle and now a breakout here. Stock reports earnings tomorrow after the close. Do you have any type of gut feeling or setup here on CVNA Carvana?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that was one of the last ones I had on my list here. Because we were watching it last week, it seemed like it really struggled a lot around 260 before, obviously, last week and the week before taking that out. So taking out that 260, our target at that point was 300 is the next most obvious number on the way up. But then, like you said, you start mixing in earnings. But what I see, it seems very commonly sometimes, you'll see stocks kind of tip their hands a little bit going into an earnings. If we break out before earnings, not uncommon to see it then continue on, almost as if the market's saying, look, we're ready to go. Just let's get these things out there type of thing. But certainly when it comes to earnings, I'll be first to admit that, you never know. But I like it to go higher. We had our eye on it. The breakthrough 260, we think 300 at minimum is still coming, at minimum.
At minimum. Okay. Awesome. And frankly, it looks like just a quick look here, options pricing in a $37 move.
Yeah.
Wow. So this thing definitely going to be volatile. Okay. Christian, really, really good stuff. I know we kind of blitzed through some charts there. Excellent job as always. Again, folks, if you like what you hear here from Christian, be sure to check out that free webinar. It's free. QR code on the screen. Link is in the chat. Christian, thanks so much for the time here on this Synthetic Monday. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll check in with you next time.
You bet, Ryan. Thanks for having me. I always enjoy coming on.